Join me behind the scenes as I introduce you to my friends, the people who make your favorite films and TV shows, the people who make the sounds of Hollywood. Hi, welcome to the Sounds of Hollywood. I'm Michael Lieberman, your host. You know, everybody's Hollywood career has a path that almost always includes a bunch of weird jobs, and mine is full of them. In fact, I like to say there isn't a job in post-production audio that I've not done professionally. And I used to be, I had a studio in this building that was incredible. It was a very lucky situation. There was a sound house called Millennium Sound that went out of business. And the guy who owned the business just had all these sound rooms and didn't know what to do with them. So he just rented them out to people. And somehow this became like almost like a composer co-op, a bunch of composers, famous, like important guys in this building, all of them. And I had a little room in there. And one day, one of the composers, Brett Perry, a genius who was across the hall, comes to me and he says, I have this, I'm scoring this cartoon called Duel Masters. And I have a bunch of different theme song ideas for them. So can you come, we'll pay you a demo rate. Can you come just across the hall, quickly sing all these different versions for them so they can pick whichever one they want? And then we'll hire, we'll figure out which one and what all in the future. But for now, I just need you to do a bunch of demos for me. So I go in and I do these demos for him, and they were really fun and whatever. And then I get a call. He comes and knocks on my door like a few weeks later, and he says, they picked one of the demos. They love that main title, and they want you as the singer. They like your voice. They want you as a singer. Will you come do the final? And we'll pay you like a real session to do the final. Great. Yeah, awesome. And like my head is spinning like, oh, this is going to be awesome. I'm going to have this theme song on this TV show where I'm singing it, and it's going to, whatever, lead to stuff. I'm thinking I'm really excited about it. So I go in, I record it. It came out great. I really was proud of it. I was really excited about it. That Friday, I get a call, and I remember it was a Friday. I get a call from the producer of Duel Masters, and she says to me, we have a problem. Apparently, there is a theme song in Japan, and we're contractually obligated to use that one. And so we cannot use your theme song. And I know that's not your problem, and it's not your problem, but it would be great if we could just pay you the demo rate again, since we're not going to use it as a final. And that's a little weird. And she was totally understanding. She's like, it's weird to like hire someone, do the work, and then after they've done the work, say, hey, can we change the deal? Like, that's kind of weird. But she was over, and I had this thought. Because Brett had said that they liked the sound of my voice. So I said to her, yeah, I totally get it. I'm cool with that. Like, it sucks for me, but I'm cool with that. It sucks for you too. So whatever. But if we could, just so you know, I also do voiceover. And just if there's a character that you think I might be good for, just keep me in mind. And that was a total lie. I'd never done voiceover before. I just had this idea in the moment, like, what can I get out of this? Because I'm about to give up some money. So I just made up this lie. And she says, great, send me your voiceover demo. So, it's Friday. I'm thinking, okay, great. I'll send it to you on Monday when I get into the studio. It's Friday. I own a recording studio. I have a whole weekend. How hard could it be to make a voiceover demo, right? So I get home that night and I tell my wife that this happened. And I'm like, I'm going to spend the weekend in my studio making a voiceover demo. And then my phone rings again and it's her. It's now late Friday night. And she's like, can you audition over the phone for a part? I'm like, sure. So I audition. She gives me some dialogue. I give it back. I read it back. She says, gives me some direction. I change it. And then she says, okay, this character has an evil laugh. And the reason we had another actor, but his evil laugh was not good enough. So that's why we're in an emergency. We need an evil laugh. Do you have an evil laugh?
Just the evil laugh? Or?
Well, that was what got the other guy, I guess, lost the job over the evil laugh. So I did an evil laugh. And I hear some dude in the background go, perfect. And then Monday morning, instead of sending my voiceover demo, I'm meeting them in the studio to play Kokujo, the evil duelist, 6 episodes, recurring character.
Nice.
It was incredible. And it was super fun. And it was not what I expected it was going to be. It was A, harder, B, much more technical than I expected. Get notes like, can you say that line 5 frames faster?
Yep. It's
and
hard.
I feel like this story, first of all, it was really, I have like a couple of people who are fans of my character on that show.
Yep.
And it was a very weird thing. And I feel like the story should end with, and that was the beginning of my voiceover career. But the truth is that I never auditioned for anything else ever again. I never even tried again. Like my music career started taking off at that moment. And it's just this crazy, weird thing that happened to me once, as opposed to the person sitting across from me who crazy, weird things happen to every day.
It's true.
My very old dear friend, Rebecca Davis, one of the busiest, most important voiceover. Most important's a funny word. One of the people who makes so many of the sounds of Hollywood. Like, you've all heard her voice, you just don't know it. She's been in so many things as this job that we don't realize, which is the voice behind, in the back.
Yep.
The voice behind the animated character, or the voice in the commercial, or the voice in the background of the movie or the film.
The voice on your phone.
The voice on your phone.
It's telling you, like, press 1.
Right. These voices that we hear everywhere, so many of them are you. Welcome.
Thank you. Give me an excuse to shower today. I can get out of my padded cell.
This is one of those jobs that everybody kind of knows exists, but people don't understand how anyone finds themselves in that position. I mean, you are a classically trained actress.
Mm-hmm.
You have been acting, since you were 6? Is that right?
Yes. I was a child actor.
In New York, right? You grew up in New York?
Yeah. No, New Jersey.
In New Jersey.
I was a Jersey girl.
And you were working right from the beginning as an actress.
Mm-hmm.
And that
It's crazy.
followed like an actual classical education in acting, correct?
Yeah.
You have a master's in acting? What is
It's nuts.
Is that a thing? What is that?
I went from I got my first degree in Austin, University of Texas, for acting there and directing and all this fun stuff. And honestly, a Master of Fine Arts, I couldn't even, sorry guys, but I couldn't even tell you what it entailed. It's such a weird memory of just working and studying scripts and learning how to do this and learning how to work with other people, I think, was a huge part of it. And Shakespeare and vocal and breath and yada, yada, yada. It just landed me where I am now.
And that was here in UCLA. That was
here in
Los
LA.
Angeles.
Yeah.
And,
where I said I'd never live.
But it did lead to something here. How did that happen?
Yeah. It goes back a little bit, actually, to Texas when I finished school and I was still living there because, you're young and you don't want to go anywhere. And I had an agent at the time who just sent me on this audition for anime. And I didn't even know I didn't even know what it was then. And I booked my first audition and suddenly I started doing anime and dubbing is how I actually started. And loved
that was
it.
the the mid 90s.
The late 90s.
Late 90s. And you did a lot of that, a lot of anime.
My first, sorry, I'm off tangent, but my first experience of knowing that anime, that people kind of obsess over your characters, which is, great and hilarious and amazing that they do. Somebody I met at a party found out which one I was in. It's like Samurai X, and just, can I get you a drink? Can I open the door? Can I do this and this? And I was like, what? I had no idea what this world was like.
There were fans.
Yeah, that there were fans. It was wild. But anyway, so I moved here, and I loved doing that when I was in Austin. And then I was still thinking about it in grad school and this and that. And, I finished school and I'm doing the on-camera thing. And honestly, I did an Artist's Way workshop, and we talked a lot about what we love and what excites you and all these things. And I kept going back to voiceover, how much I enjoyed it and enjoyed characters and animation and all that stuff. And someone said to me, like, well, then what are you doing at the end of this whole 12 weeks? Like, why aren't you pursuing what you want to do? I was like, oh yeah, you're right. And then I just stopped doing on camera. It was almost like overnight. I was like,
you just realized that's where you belong.
Yeah. I was like, this is it. And I'm going to train and I'm going to do whatever I have to do. And I trained a lot. And then doors started opening. And, it's a roller coaster, but it's exciting.
What does that mean, doors started opening?
I started meeting people. I started getting auditions. I got an agent through someone else referred me. And then I took workshops and met this casting director who then called me in for this and then saw me in this. And it's just this building world. It's a lot of it is relationships.
Right.
Who you
That's
who
a
you
thing
know
that
over
comes
time.
up a lot on this podcast.
Yeah.
These relationships really matter almost more than anything else.
I wish I'd known that in my 20s.
Well, I think it's because, when you're asking someone to do something that like you can ask them to do it and then see that they can do it well and then have them do it again, then you can trust that they're going to be able to do it because you've seen them do it. But what we do, every time anybody's doing it, it's the first time it's ever been done. No one's ever played that character. No one's ever written that piece of music. And so the only way that I can trust that you're going to be able to do the job that I'm hiring you to do is because you've done it for me in the past, or someone I trust has experience with you doing it. And that is like a sort of unique thing about getting jobs in Hollywood, is that you don't know. The best actor in the world could do a bad job on a character because no one's ever done, or not a bad job, but like not satisfy the person who's paying them.
Yeah.
Because no one's ever done that before, that character. And so we're all figuring it out for the first time every time.
Yeah.
And that is a sort of unique thing about trust that people have to have in you here.
Especially with like auditions, when you get them, and exactly what you're saying, nobody's created this character before, and there's the balance of the writers have an idea of what they think the character is, but the actor might approach it completely different. But you want to please the writer, but you need to be creative in your own world, and you just never know which one's going to stick.
Right. And it's funny because when you hire an actor for an on-camera role, a big part of it is looks the part. Oh, that person looks the part. That person looks the part. When you're hiring a voiceover actor, you're not saying that person sounds the part, because you're saying, I believe that person can invent a new voice that's going to sound the part.
Yeah.
And like, how many different voices?
They make me crazy. A lot.
And how many of them are in your head right now?
A lot. Like this morning I was auditioning for, was it like a 7-year-old boy and then a 13-year-old girl? And then that's one of the things I love about voiceover is it doesn't matter what you look like. You can play an old grandma, or you can, play a little baby sounds, and then just, be middle-aged.
I think it's important that people know that it's not just animation and Japanese. You've done huge features and TV shows. You did the first feature, correct me if I'm wrong, was The Road to El Dorado in 2000.
Oh my gosh. See, a lot of the stuff I don't even remember.
Yeah, it's so long ago.
It's so weird. And
It's funny.
half the time with games, especially, they don't even tell us
what game it is.
Or the name of our part, or
it's funny because the credit that comes up a lot for you is various voices.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because you're not necessarily brought in to do just one character, right?
Yeah, it depends on the contract. But with gaming and with animation, we get to do multiple characters, which is something that I love. That.
And you like doing video games? How is that different than doing a TV show or a film?
It depends on the game, but video games, especially right now and with mocap and everything, are much more grounded in realism, as opposed to the ones that we played growing up and wacky and this and that. But you can really sink your teeth into a lot of it. But then, you're still sinking your teeth into something, but you're playing an orc.
Right.
But the acting is still there. Like, you still got to do it, and you still got to bring all of it and just get in touch with like the, there's
and
the
big video
darker
games
parts.
too. World of Warcraft. Your
Fun.
what else? Final Fantasy.
The final, like, I'm in and out of the series every once in a while. I don't even know.
Do you have a favorite video game character?
I loved doing Astral Chain. Was actually my first lead character, and I didn't know going into it that's what it was. I didn't know, like, spoiler alert, if you're going to ever play that game, that my character is actually really good. She's really evil the whole time, but then it's the boss character in the game that you fight at the end. And that was so cool to be able to do that and finally, like, oh yeah, and see the character art. And it was I don't remember where it was released first, something else, but to see the art after recording it, you're like, yeah, she's a badass. That was fun.
Do you play them? Are you a gamer?
Sometimes. My husband is more of a gamer. God, what was it, like a couple months ago? He was like, honey, is that you? he was playing and he heard my voice and something. And it
Oh,
was
that's
just
hilarious.
really,
Do you ever
really
do that? Just
random.
like hear yourself randomly in the world?
Yeah, and it's really,
Does it creep you out?
it creeps me out. Like if I'm driving and I hear a commercial, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's me. This is weird. Or watching a movie or playing games and stuff like that. It's exciting at first when you're like, is my character going to appear? Because you never know if it's
Right,
actually.
in a game, especially.
Yeah, especially in the games. If you're playing NPC, the non-player characters, you don't even know where in the story you are until someone hears you randomly.
Right. That's funny.
It's fun.
And then with features, like you've done some like animated features like The Incredibles.
Yeah.
What did you do in Incredibles?
I had a line. I had 2 lines, but it was the most exciting. It was so exciting to me. I was dispatched police officer.
Oh, that's fun.
Which was great, but when I auditioned, I'm a huge Disney Pixar dork, and when I auditioned, I didn't know what I was auditioning for. I had no idea. And then I literally did a callback in a bathroom in Chicago. And as I got this message of like, we need you to reread this or something, and I'm eating pizza. I'm just like, okay, I guess I'll do this real quick. And then I still didn't know what it was. And then I got to the lot, still didn't know, was handed my contract and almost peed myself.
Oh, that's
I was
hilarious.
like, are you kidding? But it was so exciting. And even one line to me was a dream come true.
Yeah, totally. And that it's funny because it's all those little things. It's the operator. It's the like announcer in the hospital, or the GPS, the voice of the GPS, like all these little places that people don't realize there's like a bunch of people in the background making all that stuff happen.
Yeah.
Right?
And it's the same thing with looping, which is all the people that you hear in the background, but you can't quite understand what they're saying. That's all. It's not like a soundtrack. That is people in the studio doing all of that.
Right. That's another job that I think people don't realize. Like if they're shooting a scene, like let's say a restaurant scene, for example, right? And the characters are having a conversation on the set. The only sound they want to hear is the characters talking. Everyone else is silent. All the people in the back are faking it. They're just, peas and carrots, moving their mouths, moving their lips, blah, 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 pretending to have conversations. Then this group, the loop group, like you said, which I'm assuming you've been part of loop groups before.
A few, yeah.
Loop groups where they bring in a bunch of voice actors and you watch the show and it's like, okay, you two are that couple in the back there and you are that guy over there who's on the phone. And then you watch the scene with the sound off and you guys just have conversations and just fill in the blanks. And then those are turned way down. So nobody can hear them or understand them, but they add to the level of realism. Like every time somebody's mouth is moving in the background, there is a sound somewhere in the back there for that person's voice. And like, what a crazy job. Like you just stand in a room and have conversations. There's no script. There's no.
You start to feel a little bit psychotic.
I mean, what are you just like talking about what you would be talking about with normally, or?
Yeah, you're just basically having a conversation, but like the rules, you can't mention any brand names, so you can't say Kleenex or Xerox something. That's a brand name,
Right.
so you have to be thinking about that, and you have to be positive, and you can't do anything negative, and you can't say the time of day, and so your brain is improvising at the same time, but also making sure that you're saying the things that you're supposed to say. And then you're just following these people's reactions. And sometimes when I've done it, I've just been like, hey, did you go to your mom's party? How was it? And just quietly just talking and coming up with things to say.
Just making it up in the background.
Unless sometimes the loop director will say, okay, I need you to chase that person who's like calling out or something like that in a restaurant scene. And you just, you do whatever you're told to do.
And this is not a rare thing. Every single TV show, every single movie you've ever seen has a loop group, has a group of voice actors like you standing in a room doing all the talking for all the people in the background.
Every single one. Or on Walking Dead, all those zombies, those aren't sound effects. Those are actors making zombie sounds.
Voice actors.
Yeah, voice actors. They're voice actors. Which is fun. And sometimes we go in for voice matches when, the audio is wrong and celebrity doesn't want to come in for whatever reason or their schedule. And we do a voice match for them. And
like an impression, basically.
Basically, but a total, realistic, 100%. You cannot tell when you're watching that was somebody else's voice.
Are there certain voice actors who are known for doing certain famous, or do they just bring you in for anyone they think you might be able to copy?
So the trick answer to that is most voice actors aren't allowed to talk about who they voice match.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So I can't I did one that was a dream for me, but I can't say. I could tell you what movie I was in, but I can't tell you that I was a voice match. But there are some people that are amazing at voice matching, that they get the auditions and it's an art form.
Yeah, it's like it's not just about being able to control your voice; it's about being able to listen really well and hear the difference from one person's voice to another, and then reproduce it.
Yep, how they breathe, how they move, everything. It's people who can do that. I'm just like, kudos to you.
You know, what's funny, in that same building, Millennium Sound, we used to do like voiceover recording in the studio. And we were doing a recording of this animation series, and they had only booked one actor. And I thought that was weird. I was like, what's going on? And this guy walks in. I wish I had written down his name, because I want to know what happened to him, because I've never seen a human being do what this guy did. This guy came in, he was like, I don't know, 25-year-old guy with dreadlocks. And he did all the women, all the children, old ladies, old men, villains, heroes, this entire animation series, this 5 shorts, every single voice. It was like watching Mel Blanc. It was really weird. Yeah, I mean, some people just have weird vocal cords.
Yeah. Some people can do it. There's creature voices and stuff like that. Like D. Bradley Baker's the king of that in Hollywood, and you've heard him everywhere, but you don't
know him. Right.
You don't know it. But
that's sort of the theme of this podcast. You've heard all these people everywhere. You just didn't know it.
Yeah. And so many people that you hear over and over, and you start to recognize.
There's only 2 voice-over names that people have heard of. And one I said before is Mel Blanc. He did all the voices of all the original Looney Tunes characters, Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck. And the other, of course, is Don LaFontaine. Oh. And everybody knows him because he's the in a world. Just say those 3 words and everybody knows it's Don LaFontaine. And everybody who's ever done a voiceover for any movie trailer is just doing a Don LaFontaine impression, because he's the guy.
Yeah.
And he was just an absolute Hollywood legend.
Yeah. And a wonderful human being. I don't know if you ever heard the stories about him.
I mean, I've heard funny stories about him, but, he apparently total sense of humor, completely thought it was ridiculous that he had become this sort of cultural icon.
The stories that people tell who knew him and were best friends with him and whatnot is, back then we didn't have the internet. So you would drive around. He got driven around to all of the lots in a limousine all the time, so many times a day. But he would invite someone to come with him. Somebody new, somebody who was a newbie, someone who was like, what is this? And just had him come around with him for the day and just introduce them to people. And he was just...
Help.
Yeah, he was just, that's what he was known for, that I've learned in my industry, of just his generosity.
And I brought him up because when he passed away, SAG-AFTRA, basically the actors union, created a lab, like a sort of educational thing around him for voiceover, and this annual award, I wrote down the Don LaFontaine Voiceover Spirit Award. And the very first ever inaugural recipient of that was you.
It was crazy.
How did that happen?
They surprised me. I had no idea I was a huge proponent of this lab and a proponent of giving back and education and all this other stuff. And one day they said, we're doing something, come on in and, we're going to have a lunch, dress nice, whatever. And then they gave me this award that was, it was incredible to even in the smallest way be compared to his spirit and his generosity, because I just so strongly believe in giving back to anybody that you can and helping other people. And people have helped me and all of that. And they gave me, I don't know if you know what Source Connect is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
So they gave me
So Source Connect
account.
is a technology, just to fill everybody else in.
I know,
it's a technology that allows you basically to record remotely. So it's almost as if you're in the studio, but you can be home.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
and everyone has their own personal one.
right, everyone has their own little key, so I can connect my home studio up with your professional studio, or connect two
Yeah.
professional studios together, or whatever, and then they can sort of function in real time as one studio.
Which has become more.
Especially because of the pandemic.
Yes, and that's become essential through the pandemic. And they
so
gave
do
me
you have
his.
they gave you his?
They gave me his account. Oh, I'm not going to get misty. They gave me his account. And so I just always think about, like, I have his spirit. I believe in energy and all that stuff. So I have his spirit in my studio at home. And it's just, it's amazing to have that, and to have had Source Connect when everything started. When we were like, okay, now we're working from home.
Turned
for the
out to
next
be
2.5
really useful.
years. Yeah. Yeah.
And did you build a studio at home?
Yeah.
That seems to be like all voiceover artists now. You kind of have to have one, especially after the pandemic.
Yeah. And a lot of people, my first one that I had was in my closet, was, had someone help me figure out how to put some panels up and everything. And that's fine. Like, some people do tons of work working out of their closet, as long as the sound is good. And now I have my own little booth. I actually just finished the last decorating of it this week, which makes me so happy. And have my monitor and everything like that. And I just makes me happy when I'm in there.
That's
lights. And
that wasn't your only award.
Oh.
You have multiple awards. You also
did
the
your
first
homework.
female nominee in 10 years for the Golden Trailer Award for Best Voiceover. So that's like the Oscars of trailers.
Yeah,
And one of the and they have all kinds of categories for trailers there, in everything, sound and visual and writing and everything. And one of the categories is Best Voiceover. And they don't differentiate male or female the way they would in, like, actor and actress in, like, other award shows.
Yeah.
And it's always been men.
Until
Rebecca Davis came along.
My goodness.
What movie was that for?
That was for Captive State, which was with John Goodman. That was my first big trailer. And just to do it was exciting, because women, up until recently, really, trailers, you don't think
It was
of
all
women.
about that deep voice.
Yeah. And Melissa Disney was was the first woman that really broke into voiceovers, but trailers. But there hasn't really been a lot. And now it is happening more and more, which is exciting. But getting that was, it's a big thing for women, and a big thing for myself, of like, what's happening? It was really...
Yeah, it shattered a glass ceiling.
Yeah, which we needed, and we still need, as women, we still need that. But it is exciting, because you really are hearing it more and more. You're hearing a female voice cut through, because I think everyone's used to the male voice, that to cut through, you need something different. And it's more appropriate with some different trailers. So it's really exciting to see that happening.
Yeah, that is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Very few people get the opportunity to be, like, the first at anything. And you were the first at two things.
What else?
The Don LaFontaine Award.
What are we talking about?
Both of those.
Oh, yeah. Right. Is there something I don't remember?
I'm going to tell you another funny thing that happened when I was doing my research. As you pointed out, I did some research. This is absolutely hilarious. Wait, I want to get the numbers right. Where is it? Okay. You are the only person that has been on this podcast. You may be one of the only people that, well, no, that's probably not true. But you're definitely the only person on this podcast who you can buy your picture on Getty Images.
You can buy my picture?
There's a picture of you at the 20th Annual Golden Trailer Awards.
Are you kidding?
You ready? The cheapest to buy that picture, $175.
Are you kidding me?
And the big one, if you want to buy the big one,
no,
full res version, $500.
What?
There's a $500 picture of you for sale.
That is the most insane thing. Oh my God.
That is how rarely you are in front of the camera.
Oh my God.
That's how rarely you're in front of the camera. That if anybody wants that picture, $500, Getty Images.
Where is that? I need to tell someone to buy that.
Isn't that hilarious?
That is hilarious. I didn't even know that you could.
I couldn't believe. I was
that
like,
is,
is that?
How did
what
you
is that?
Find that? That's wild.
Google.
Google, yeah, I guess Google can find anything.
I was like, that is hilarious. I definitely am bringing that up.
That's amazing. I mean, not amazing of like, oh, look at me, but like just hilarious to me why anybody would. Sorry, that really got me. That's amazing.
Something I had a voice actress tell me once was she was playing a character in a television show, and she was driving down the street, and a bus went by with a picture of her character on the side of the bus, like, you know, an animated character. And she was like, oh, there I am on the side. Oh, wait, no, that's not me. That's the character. Because she got so invested in the character that she starts to think of it as herself.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Does that kind of ring any bells with you?
A little bit. A little bit. I mean, honestly, one of my goals is that is one of my goals, to have a character that is someone that's on a billboard or on a bus or something like that is one of those made it moments, I guess. You know, like I'm doing okay, but that's I kind of started mentioning this earlier where I am now, I would have killed to be where I am now earlier in my career. I can't imagine. But I also I'm like, but I want to be over there, and just have to remind myself when I get down and out about this moment of, you know, how come I didn't book this or this? Of like, yeah, but
it feels like you always have to be climbing the ladder.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you can't ever just like take a break and just like live where you are. You know?
Yeah, it's weird. And
it's Hollywood. That's the deal. And it's, you know, it's funny. For me, when I drive down the street and I see a billboard of a show that I've worked on, I get that feeling. But for you, it's like, no, it has to be the character in the show. That's me.
Like, there's no name. There's no like.
Yeah, that doesn't happen to me because I'm never the character in the show.
But just as important. I think there is one character that I see and I'm like, that's me. Okay, I like that one.
But you've done characters like in the anime in particular, but also non-anime where you are a recurring character over and over again.
Which was fun.
Like, what are some of your favorite ones?
Lego Friends.
Yeah, I was going to
Fiona in Lego Friends is one of my favorites. Like, she was just fun, and I didn't know that she was going to be coming back, and then I didn't know she was coming back, and then I didn't know again. It was like, okay, let's just keep doing this. Because, again, you just don't know if you're playing a recurring character sometimes, or you're a one-off, or the same thing with a video game. If fans like that character, they'll bring it back. But that was a fun one. I liked doing her over a couple years, I think.
And when you first got that job, you had no idea that you would be coming back. You thought it was just one day's worth of work.
Yeah. Thought, okay, I'm doing just one.
And turned into 2 years worth of work.
Yeah, just off and on, you know. There's I've been working on something for a couple years, and I can't say, you know, NDA, we get so many NDAs, and I can't say what it is, but I've been doing it for 2 years under, like, you know, the wraps. And I'm so excited for something like that when that gets to come out.
When is that coming out?
I have no idea.
Oh,
that's the fun part. I mean, not fun sometimes, but it could be, honestly, it could be 2 years from now. The video games, some of the work they do is incredible, and it takes long.
Years to produce those.
Yeah, yeah. And everybody, you know, I think sometimes we think as actors like, oh, it's all about me and my part and stuff. And it's like, we couldn't do anything without everybody else. Like, that's why I said once, I think I said it online, that I think engineers are magicians. Like, I just can't even comprehend everything that you do. And we wouldn't sound as good without you. We just wouldn't.
Yeah, we do spend a lot of time fixing actors' mistakes.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I popped on my microphone.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's the technical stuff, the P's and the T's, but also, you know, our equipment and our tools have gotten so much more sophisticated now. We can change the words you say. We can, you know.
It's wild.
Yeah, it's sometimes some of the brilliant dialogue editors, you see them do something like an actor will say like, I don't know, dog instead of dogs. And they'll be like, hold on, let me steal an S from a different word and stick it in there. And now the person says dogs. And there's just no way you'd ever know that they didn't say dogs.
Yeah. I've seen them. I've seen them do that in real time in the studio, and just, it's amazing. And how they slide when you're doing any sort of ADR, JRPGs and stuff. They just slide it like 2 frames. She's like, how did you do that?
Yeah, one of the things, especially with the animation, it costs money for them to change the lip flap. So what they really want is the English lip flap, the English words to match up with the Japanese lip flap.
Yeah.
So you'll say a line and the engineers in real time will take it and shrink it so it's a little faster so it fits in the lip flap, or stretch it so it's a little longer.
Yeah.
And that's where you get notes like, hey, can you say that line 5 frames faster?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they rewrite it on the fly, especially with live action dubbing too. There's much more freedom to rewrite things, I think. And you're just like, all right, we're just going to rewrite it because your mouth is moving way too many times, your lip flaps.
Right. You're saying too many syllables or not enough syllables or whatever. And that's like a really interesting challenge. Like you have to match lips of someone who's saying something else in a foreign language.
Yeah. It's wild. It's wild.
It's such a weird job. And like, that's what you do for a living. It's a very weird job. You just like talking to a microphone for a living.
Yeah. I feel, I mean, to use the word blessed, but I feel so lucky that I do get to do this now, that this is where my trajectory has gone and that this is my full-time job, because it's
ridiculous.
It's ridiculous and I love it. And it's hard. Like, don't get me wrong. This job is very hard. And especially, when I'm not behind the mic, I'm trying to get my next client. I'm trying to connect with other people. I'm working my butt off to get that next job because nothing comes easy.
It's the constant looking for work.
Yes, and the constant auditioning. But again, like when I first started out.
You don't get paid for auditioning.
No.
You don't get paid for the networking. You work all these extra days just for that one day when you're recording.
Yep.
And that pays for everything.
Yeah. And a lot of people think like, oh my God, you make so much money. Well, you got paid $900 for that one day. And I'm like, yeah, but I haven't been paid for like 2 weeks,
Yeah.
I mean, they're not that few and far between, but yeah, you're constantly working. But the times I get behind the mic, I'm happiest.
And if somebody wanted that crazy job, is there any advice that you give people who like want to be a voiceover actress? Or voiceover actor?
Study acting if you haven't, because it's not just how your voice sounds. There's so many people like, I've been told I have this great voice, or I should be doing voiceover because this is how I actually sound all the time. Great, your voice is incredible, but can you act as well? Because everything, right down to commercials, right down to trailers, essentially is acting. So that's always my first thing is learn how to act, take classes, and take voiceover classes, and make sure it's something you enjoy first. And study with different people, because different things you might connect with one way of approaching something versus another. It's an investment. It's a monetary investment to start off. But some people do just hit it right away. That does happen. But you have to study and then be ready.
Yeah,
for
your
that
goal in life
opportunity.
can't be, I'm going to win the lottery.
Yeah.
You have to do the
I'm really
work.
excited when I do so I can travel the world.
Yeah,
but
you travel a lot.
I love travel.
You love to travel.
That's I don't buy fancy clothes and fancy anything. I will go thrifting so I have the money to travel. And it is.
And can you explain the ninja thing to me? Because I'm trying to understand it. I really want to understand it.
Okay, so okay, so he's gonna kill me for saying this. My husband and I, many, many, many years ago, started playing this game. I don't know where it came from, called Naked Ninja.
Okay.
Where you would just pop out of somewhere, it's always at home, and just like, Naked Ninja! And you're fully naked, and the person is surprised, like, oh my God, I'm surprised, and you're naked. So then it just became this funny thing, and then it became this
That
ninja.
may be, by the way, that game may be the best piece of advice that anyone's given on this podcast so far.
It is so fun.
Okay, anyway.
And you can do it we've been together 19 years, and it doesn't stop.
Okay.
So anyway, so I got him this little ninja for the holidays, and we started taking it everywhere we travel.
This little toy ninja.
This little guy is like 2 inches. I found a woman who makes them in the UK. And we started taking it around and used it instead of selfies everywhere, just like a little picture of look where Ninja's going. And that's been going on for, I think, 6 years, maybe longer.
Yeah, like your Instagram is just full of pictures of this little toy ninja all over the world.
Yeah. And then I had her, we almost lost one on a boat once. So the woman made me a ton. So I have like 9 ninjas, or started with. I think I'm down to 5 now because sometimes the ocean takes them away or something. But that's just been my fun thing. And like I used to, or I still do it if I'm somewhere and I'm bored. I'm like, okay, actually, I will probably take a picture in here before I go.
Oh, you bring Ninja with you?
Somewhere. Of course I did.
That's
Ninja
so
goes
funny.
everywhere. And I'm never in the same picture. Ninja and I are never together.
Oh, that's right. I guess I've never seen the two of you in a picture together.
I'm a weirdo. Yeah. I will own up to it.
I don't think that's anything to do with voiceover. I really needed to understand the ninja thing. Because it's like...
I hope that helps explain it.
I think it might hurt now that I understand it. But
when you know where the naked ninja came from, it really... The depths of... Yeah.
You've done... you do volunteer work also, right? What is the Young Storytellers?
Young Storytellers Foundation is this incredible program where a group of people go in for, God, what is it now? 7 weeks? And work one-on-one with 4th and 5th graders that are chosen by the school and by the end, create a script, a 5-page script that the children wrote. And throughout we workshop, we're giving them ideas and learning. We don't give them ideas. I'm sorry. We give them ways to express themselves and guide them, but we never tell them what to write and help them build a community. And these things are incredible. At the end, they have 5, and then we bring in actors and they perform their 5-page scripts. And I started as an actor and then I was like, I love this. So we go in and we mentor during the semester. I haven't been able to do it for a year though. So I need to go back to it because it also fills your heart with love.
Awesome.
It really
That's
is.
Awesome. I think a lot of the reason why you got that Don LaFontaine Award is because you have that spirit of, paying it forward, of like giving it back to the next generation.
We have to because they need these lost souls right now. They need that kind of thing.
And it's really impossible to make it in this industry, probably true for almost any industry, by yourself.
Oh, yeah.
You just can't.
You need people in your corner rooting for you. You need someone helping you and you need to be able to help yourself, but you need someone in your corner.
And a lot of people think that, when you imagine something, it's never the same as the reality. And everybody moves here imagining what it's going to be like here.
Yeah.
And if you don't have someone who's like, no, reality is very different and you need to behave differently or make different choices. If you don't have the guidance of people who've walked the road already.
Yeah.
And this town's full of people like you who are ready to like help people along. It's just about finding that path,
Yeah. And finding your way to someone that can help you with that.
I think it's crazy, and I know I'm going all the way back to the beginning here, but it's been on my mind the whole time. I think it's crazy that you were doing voiceover before you moved out here to study acting.
That's wild.
Like the voiceover came first almost. Well, you had a bachelor's degree in acting at that point.
Yeah,
But you really, even after you were on these anime things, you still thought like, oh no, I'm going another way.
Yeah. It's just like, okay, I think part of it was, well, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I thought I was going to go to New York after I graduated and no, I stayed here and I was supposed to be in film and supposed to be doing commercials. And I would get those calls to go to Santa Monica at like 3 p.m. and go into a room where everyone looks like me. And it does something to your psyche, God bless the people that can handle it, but it wasn't for me. There was something else that I was meant to be doing. And so I followed that. But it is crazy.
Yeah, you're lucky you found it. I feel like we're all lucky. We're all lucky that you found it because there's so many, video game characters and TV characters and anime characters that people love that wouldn't be the same if they weren't you.
Thanks. It's weird. It's still so weird, but it's everybody though. It's like not just me. What's amazing about these projects is how collaborative they are as well. Like when you're in the studio and you're working with the director and, you're working with the sound and you've got the client in your ear and all the people and the casting directors who put the sides together and their assistants. It's going back to what I said earlier where I was watching the credits. We went and saw Avatar again, Avatar in 3D, which is amazing, by the way. We were watching the credits. And I said to my husband, I'm like, I forget sometimes how far it goes beyond the actors. Like it just isn't, it's not about us. Look at these thousands of people that put their time and energy into this. Like it's about them as well. And I love it when they do the babies at the end
Oh, yeah.
sometimes.
Right,
Because we'll
especially
stay
on
to the end.
movies like that, because it takes so long to make those movies. Like you
Yeah.
were saying, it was the animation stuff. It takes forever.
Yeah. And
It's all-
everybody matters on that.
Yeah, I've said it on other episodes of this, but sometimes as like a joke, when people ask me what I do, I say I'm a professional collaborator. Because it really is a collaborative
Yeah.
art form. You can't make a movie by yourself. You just can't. And so in the end, if you're a painter or a sculptor or even if you write novels, you can sit in a room by yourself and come out with a finished piece of art. And if you write screenplays, you can't. If you work on what we do, you can't.
Yeah.
It requires hundreds of people. And it's a collaborative art form. You're just doing your little piece.
Yeah.
And
You're just part of it. It's not about you, really, even though as actors sometimes we're like, it's all about me. But no.
Well, you have to, that's sort of the weird, everyone has that impression of actors that they're all sort of egotistical. And part of it is that you get good at the things you practice, and you have to walk into a room and convince everybody, I'm me, choose me.
Yeah.
And you practice that every time you're at an audition, and you practice that every time you're going, even if you don't think it's true, you have to act that way.
You have to act that way and believe it. And it's really hard to do that sometimes.
Yeah.
It really is really hard to believe in yourself in this business when you're told no 1,000 times,
Yeah. And sometimes you're told no, not for, you take it personally, but there's only one job.
Yeah.
And there's 1,000 people who want it.
Oh, yeah. And you might, someone always refers to this, I can't remember what it is, but you might, to the person who's making the decision, you might sound like her sister that she hates. So she's going to go with the other person, even if you're a better actor. Like, you don't know why they make the decision, the decisions. I talk for a living. The decisions that they make half the time, you don't even know.
I think a lot of times they don't even know.
Yeah.
Like, there's no right answers when you're doing something like this. Like, if they pick you or pick the other actress, it's going to be great either way, right? Once you're dealing with people who have your level of experience, there's no right answer. So in the end, a lot of times it's just like a gut. It's just like a visceral feeling. And like you said, you have no idea what influences that, like what makes that, what they had for breakfast the day that you came in, put them in a foul mood, and they really liked their breakfast the day the other person came in, and they were feeling much better about the whole thing.
I like the maple syrup today.
Yeah, who knows what? And our whole livelihoods are at the whim of that.
It's wild that just one decision like that can change. Like if you book this recurring character on something, one person's decision is what get like a character that goes on for years and years and years, and you don't, or sometimes, like I can't remember what it was, but I submitted this audition that I was like, I don't care tonight. I'm just gonna lay it down, and which I rarely do. I like really work on my auditions, and I don't, because they can hear it when you're bullshitting behind the mic. But for some reason, this one, and I booked it, and I honestly wish I could remember what it was, but I remember that feeling of, are you fucking kidding me? Okay, sure. I don't know what I did, but maybe it's when you don't care. You don't put the pressure on yourself.
You never know. I mean, maybe there was something about the aloofness that they liked in the character. It's like, it's such a gamble, this industry, and that the only thing that makes it stable, which is the sort of catch-22, is having experience. So like what we were saying before, people trust you that you can deliver, and it's like, how do you get the experience
without the experience?
Right, and the answer is it's just years of instability.
Yeah, it is years of instability. And watching people, there's so much just from watching other people. Or, if it's something that you want to get into, if you want to get into dubbing, turn on TV and dub it yourself. Make sure, if you want to get an animation, make sure you're watching the shows and you know what the trends are, and they're not wacky trends anymore. It's
right.
And I think it's sometimes easier almost when you don't know what you're auditioning for. Like, it was How I Met Your Mother. I auditioned for something for that, and I loved that show. I loved it so much. And I'm so glad I didn't know that that was what I was auditioning for.
You were a
'cause,
news anchor, right?
yeah, I was a news anchor, a horny news anchor. And I was so glad
You
I
were
didn't
not playing
know.
Naked Ninja on the set of
No
How-
naked No, we didn't do that one with the no. That would have been fun. But I think I didn't put the pressure on myself, which I think we do as actors. We put too much pressure on ourselves. Like, well, this is what I really want. And I think it backfires sometimes.
Yeah. The pressure in the end, how you handle that pressure is really what determines who stays in LA and has a career and who doesn't.
That's a really good way to put it. If you can like withstand the roll, I always call it the roller coaster. If you can get through that when things are down and stick it out. You've been here. How long have you been here?
Oh my God. Since 95. So what is that? 27 years?
Wow. I
And-
mean,
this is the way I always sort of think about this idea. Any desirable job, like you want to be a doctor, you want to be a lawyer, whatever, there's always going to be more people who want that job than there are open positions.
Yeah.
And so in order to make sure that there's a appropriate supply and demand in the labor market and that those people continue to make a lot of money and that they're not flooded with too many lawyers or too many doctors, is there some official body that makes sure, that controls it? So with lawyers, it's the bar.
right.
Right. With doctors, it's the American Medical Association. Every year they tell each medical school how many new students they can take in. And so it's there's nothing like that in Hollywood. And everybody wants to be a director or an actor or a writer or a producer or a composer or whatever they want to be, an editor. And so everybody's moving here and there is no official body that says there's too many of you, you're not allowed. And so the unofficial system that has evolved over the decades in Hollywood is that you get tortured for a decade.
And
And-
you're still persistent.
Yeah.
You
And
still get
I
tortured.
believe years ago I read a statistic that said 97% of people go home that move out
Wow.
here to have a career in the industry go home. And Hollywood is just made up, not of the most talented, not of the most, the smartest or the most deserving. It's just the 3% who didn't go back to Des Moines.
Wow. That tracks, though.
Yeah.
Like,
And
that
it is
tracks.
in the end perseverance. And it's that feeling of there's something inside me that says I have to keep climbing.
Yeah.
I can't ever stop climbing because if you stop climbing, someone's going to climb past you.
Yeah.
And it's so
That's such a good way to put it.
exhausting and at the same time rewarding. And it's just like, I don't think that's what people imagine when they imagine the glitz and glamour of Hollywood.
Oh, yeah.
But that's really at its core what it is. It is coming to a place where it's going to be hard, way harder than you think. Way harder. And not just the craft, learning the craft, but everything, money and emotionally. And your ego is going to get sliced in half.
Smashed. Smashed.
There's a lot of different reasons why people make it, why people persevere, what different personality types, different approaches. But I think one of the tools that anyone can really acquire that makes it easier is study your craft.
Yeah.
And a lot of actors and actresses don't do that. They think, "Oh, I was a good actor in high school.
Yeah.
So I'm moving to LA."
Yeah.
And you wouldn't do that in any other industry. You'd go and you'd train and
Yeah.
you'd learn.
You're
And
right.
especially in voiceover where you don't get to sit with the characters.
You show up you don't even know. You show up that day and your script is there and it's the first time you've ever seen it and the first time you're ever reading it. So you got to be able to hone in on that really quickly.
And as soon as you get a note, "Oh, we don't like the characters too aggressive or too this or too whatever," you have to have a toolbox of techniques at your fingertips to solve those kinds of problems.
The toolbox. And I still take classes. Like I don't sit back and be like, well, I'm trained, I'm done. I'm doing voiceover now. I've done my time. I still take classes because it keeps you sharp. It keeps you ready. You're meeting more people. And, we never stop learning, which sounds like, we never stop learning. But we don't. It's just how it is.
Yeah, you have to keep up.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know, at a certain level of voice acting and everything else, there is a point where you're not taking classes anymore. I know I see my friends and I see people where they are. And I'm just, like you said, I'm still climbing that ladder. And I'm just going to keep climbing it till I'm where I want to be. But I'm so happy with where I am right now.
Well, I'm so happy with where you are right now because it's sitting in that chair. And thank you so
Thanks.
much for coming in. This
Thank
was
you for
super
having me.
fun.
This was super
You're
fun
awesome.
catching up too.
Yeah, I know. We got to hang out more.
It's wild.
Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure introducing you to one of my close friends. Can't wait for you to come back. Click the subscribe button. Follow us on social media. And we'll see you next time at The Sounds of Hollywood.